Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at a couple of games played between Saudi Arabia and the USA at the FIFA E World Cup group stage that just happened. We're in Game 3, Day 2 that is, of the competition. The third time that these two teams have played against each other at the FIFA E World Cup for 2025. And we're on TRK POV, see who's going to take this one. Up until this point, both of these teams had taken one game off of each other. And USA were actually the team topping the group at this moment. So Saudi Arabia got some work to do. But as well as just talking about FIFA E, as Rawas opened the scoring here, Clear's yet to score points. I'm sure that's going to change pretty soon. But yeah, as well as talking about FIFA E 2025, which is an amazing event, I also wanted to make this video because this might be the last time we see these two trios play against each other on the pitch. And it's been a storied rivalry up until now, and they're just slugging it out as usual. It's always entertaining to watch these two trios go up against each other, whether it's G2 or NRG or USA up against Falcons or Saudi Arabia. They've always had great matches, and like I said, this might be the last time that we see the trios go up against each other. Assuming that one of the teams makes a roster change going into next year's FIFA, or well, obviously Falcons have made a roster change regionally. Assuming that the Twins and TRK don't ever team together again and then run into the trio of Atomic Daniel Beast Mode, what do you guys think? Is this the last time we're going to see the trios match up against each other, or will there be more in the future? Also, before we get too deep into this one, quick note that myself and apparently Jack we've recorded 2 other videos recapping FIFA E, and they'll be on the Next Rank YouTube channel, so check out over the holiday weeks. I think, yeah, the first one should be up in a few days, next one maybe next week. We're first recapping the USA against France match, one of the greatest matches I've ever seen, and we're also recapping the grand final of FIFA E on the Next Rank YouTube channel. So if you're wondering where those matches, they're over there. If you have any other matches you'd want me to recap here, let me know. Might have to do those after I'm back from holiday though, because I am going to be going away for Christmas and New Year pretty soon. But okay, let's talk about these two teams. Obviously, they've had a storied rivalry. They first played against each other as Falcons and G2 in the London Major. That was Major 2 of the 2024 season. They didn't play against each other in Copenhagen, the Major before that. Ended up on different sides of the bracket, different sides of the Swiss, etc. And that was when Falcons won 3-0 in the Swiss stage against G2. Got a nice catch by TRK, completely faking out Daniel. And then, of course, in the grand final, G2 were able to win 4-1, taking the tournament, winning a major for North America, and taking the head-to-head in the rivalry. But interestingly, even in overall games, it's kind of crazy how this kept happening over the course of the years. Next time they played was in the first major of this season. That was Birmingham. Went to Game 7. That was NRG by then. NRG took it in Game 7. And then, of course, they played in Raleigh, where Falcons won it in 6. And then they played again at the World Championship, where NRG won it in 5. So up until that point, NRG leading the all-time rivalry by 2 games with a score of 14-12, if my addition is correct. They did also match up at the Esports World Cup, but I'm not counting that because that was played with NAS as a third. Beast Mode didn't play that tournament, so I'm not counting that towards the totals. But after day 1 of the FIFA E, one more win for each team. That, oh my goodness, what a post pinch that was. Actually leads to a chance the other end. That would have been crazy had that gone in. But yeah, after day 1 of FIFA E, both teams winning one more game against each other. That brings the USA trio, the NRG trio, to 15 games all time against Falcons, aka Saudi. And now Falcons, aka Saudi, trying to get one back on them. But it's not going to be easy as USA score again. Now, on day 1 of the FIFA E competition, both USA and Saudi, they kind of won the game. I think they kind of both stole a game off of each other. I think USA stole the first game, and then Saudi stole the second game. It looked like the wrong team won both games, but a 1-1 score was fair, if you guys know what I mean. But in the FIFA E group stage format, you need every game if you want to get all the points. So they, splitting the points there. They were still top of the group, 1 and 2. USA were the only team able to beat everybody else. Saudi did draw to, did lose to Germany. Not even draw, they lost to Germany. So big chance for USA here. If they could just win one game in this series, in this little set of 2, then they'll remain at least 3 points ahead of Saudi Arabia in this stage of the competition. And I'll talk a bit more in the next game about what that could have meant. But the short story is dodging France until the final. Potentially dodging France entirely if you put Saudi Arabia against them. So could have been super different. Could have been incredibly impactful to the tournament had USA been able to win this game or the next one. I know a lot of you guys will know the result of that, but let's find out in this first overtime how it pans out. That's how it pans out. Just a kickoff goal, 4 seconds in. How did this go wrong? Let's really quickly rewind. Rawas going for the kickoff with a delay. Now, I had to look back at this and see if he meant it, because in the moment it looked like he messed up. But then on watch back, he might have done this on purpose. It's really hard to tell because he doesn't air roll here, so I don't really know what's going on. I'll be honest, I don't really know what's happening here, because usually if somebody's going for a wave dash kickoff on the approach, they're going to fly a lot lower than this. Look how high Rawas flies here. He flies so high. Usually people will just do a little baby jump and then wave dash, which isn't a relevant kickoff really at all. But he flies so high, makes me think it might have been a mistake. Like he tried to speed flip and he for some reason just messed up his inputs and he ended up jumping. But he recovered it really well. Either way, whether this is deliberate, just some new kickoff tech where he flies up in the air a little bit and then wave dashes in the landing, or whether it is a mistake, he does very well because he actually dunks Daniel. He arrives second and blocks Daniel, and TRK just scores. So I don't know. You guys can decide. I'm leaning towards I think he messed up a speed flip. I don't think he meant to just float towards the ball, but he adapted really well, and it does go to show you what dunk kickoff can look like. If you arrive later than your opponent and you really solidly block them, you can actually get the ball to just go straight over the opponent's cheater and just give your teammate a free shot. TRK bangs it in. But okay, let's get into the last game of the video here, and I'll talk a little bit more about what it could have meant to USA. Alright, let's watch the last game, potentially, that we're ever going to see between the trios of Beast Mode Atomic Daniel and Rawas clears TRK. We're on Rawas POV for this one. And like I mentioned, at this moment, all-time game score between the two, USA's NRG lead 15-14. So a chance for Saudi to make it dead even all-time. Although I'm pretty sure that they would want to trade which games had been won between the two teams. Obviously the World Championship, they'd want that one back. They'd probably gladly trade some of their group stage and Swiss stage games for some more games in the grand final there, the Worlds especially. But okay, just to again highlight how important this game was for Saudi. If they lose this game in FIFA E, then USA would remain top of the group by 3 points, and if they could just do the exact same as they did in day one, beat everybody else, or even just beat everyone but draw to one team, they would finish ahead of Saudi in the group, and they would be on the opposite side of the bracket of France, which would put France and Saudi on a collision course in the semi-final instead of nice drop-down pass there, by the way, by USA. They did that a lot in the tournament. It was really fun to watch them mixing up the passing plays of the 1-2s, but I digress. Had France played Saudi in the final, in the semi-final, I think Saudi would have had a better chance winning that one than the grand final, and that would have also put USA, likely in my opinion, in the grand final against Saudi, where they have a historical advantage, and I think they probably would have won it if history's taught us anything when these two teams play. Winning advantage for Saudi in the early stage of the tournament, winning advantage for the USA in the grand final. But yeah, what do you guys think? If USA were able to win this group, if they were able to win their group, which by the way, this wasn't the only chance they had to win it. It wasn't just this game. USA actually had another chance because Saudi Arabia dropped a game to Chile. So if USA had just managed to beat Brazil, beat Chile, they still would have topped the group. They weren't able to do that. They actually drew with both of them, and that allowed Saudi to top the group with a monstrous goal advantage, well, goal difference I should say. But do you guys think if USA top the group, would they have played against Saudi in the final, or would France have still won the semi-final against Saudi and then gone on to win the whole thing? Because regardless, I think it would have been more likely for USA to win on that side of the bracket, but it wasn't meant to be. They ran into France, and like I said earlier, if you want to see a breakdown on some key games of that one, head over to the Next Rank YouTube channel, link in the description. Myself and Jack went into quite a lot of detail in Games 6 and 7 of one of the best series I've ever seen. Okay, at the moment, half the game gone. USA again trying to get the attack going with mind games and little drop down passes. It works out wonderfully. So many times this tournament, they're able to get those drop down passes from an advanced player to fall into the path of a teammate, and also so many times they're able to get a mind game leading to a relevant shot, something Saudi Arabia and also France have been known for over the years, or at least French players, Saudi players. So really it's becoming very popular for that strategy to be utilized. Another strategy there that's becoming very popular and has been for a while, one that you can try at home. It's not quite as difficult as high flying drop down passes. A little drive challenge in the back corner. Keep your momentum, don't go for the ball, just drive into the opponent's corner, demo one of them, and then keep driving out. Maybe steal the boost, maybe you can get some kind of interference in your exit. It's a really good play to go for. I'd recommend you guys try it in your own games, especially if you're playing 3v3, but 2v2 as well. It's very effective. Okay, we got to switch to TRK POV for this one, because this is an absolute banger of a goal. Seen quite a few good goals already in this match, but TRK with the immediate launch into the ceiling double reset past the last defender, and this is where Saudi really started to take over. Every other game between these two teams at the FIFA E World Cup was a super close game. This one, Saudi just showing what they do. This is, I think, the main difference between Saudi Arabia and the USA. Saudi Arabia will be ahead by 1 goal, 2 goals, and they are going to keep playing the same way. They do not slow down, they keep attacking, and they do give openings for the opponents to come back at them as a result, but they also give themselves chances, more chances, to score again and again and run up the score, which in this format helped them massively, as if there was a tie between USA and Saudi at the top of the group, Saudi would have won it with goal difference by a landslide. Not to say that that playstyle's better or worse, but it just happens to be how they play, and that's just it. Ruas with a massive dunk. He actually just cuts off Clears here, because Clears didn't have boost. So they're right there, Clears going for the mid boost. Ruas just comes in, cuts him off, dunks in. The 4th goal, and USA have got a lot of work to do. They still knew they were going to be in with a chance to top the group, but losing this game would mean that it would go outside their control. It would no longer be just up to them. So, of course, they really wanted to win this one. But Saudi Arabia playing a solid ending here. They really did step up in day 2 of the competition, tidied up the defensive mistakes that they were making in day 1. I think USA also overall stepped up, but the competition across the board was able to perform better against them. In particular, Saudi Arabia and the South American teams, Brazil and Chile. This is going to be game and match to Saudi Arabia. They advance, well, they climb to the top of the group, and why not one more along the way? Was takes a leap out of Gibbs' playbook there with a little backflip redirect into the opponent's net. And yeah, crucial game actually. This was a really, really relevant game. Like I said, if USA had won this one, they would have stayed top of the group by 3 points. Saudi Arabia did not let them do that. They won this one, and that put Saudi on the favorable side of the bracket, away from France, put USA on a collision course with France before the final. USA nearly won that, to be fair, but yeah, like I said earlier, what are you guys saying? Would USA have had a better chance of winning the tournament if they ended up on the other side of the group and they had to play against the likes of Belgium and Brazil instead of Netherlands? Not that they had any issues in Netherlands and then France. I think they would have. I think there was a decent chance that Saudi Arabia can eliminate France in the semi. Definitely a better chance to eliminate them there than in the grand final. But yeah, it still would have been really difficult, I'm sure, with Saudi, France, and USA all looking so strong. You're never you're going to need to beat one of them at some point. You can't dodge them forever. But yeah, 15 games to 15 games all time if you don't count the Esports World Cup with NAS subbing in, which I don't. Kind of crazy that these two teams had such epic battles over the years, and it all comes down to completely even game win-loss. But USA, NRG, and formerly G2 winning the more important games in the rivalry. Saudi Arabia were the team who were winning earlier on in tournaments, just like they did here. So it finished just like it started. Their first matchup they ever played against each other, Saudi Arabia won it early in a tournament. Their last matchup, same thing, early stage tournament, Saudi Arabia win. But the penultimate match, and also the second time they played against each other, NRG, aka USA, won in a grand final. So yeah, really storied, I think it's really interesting storied rivalry between these two teams. Maybe it won't be the last time we see them play. Maybe we'll have to wait for the future. We can get a, I don't know, show match or something if they never play in competition again. But let me know what you guys think. Like I said earlier, check out thenextrank.com for the course by myself and apparently Jack. Check out the YouTube videos and the YouTube channel for the next rank in the description if you want to see more breakdowns from Copenhagen Kickoff LAN as well as FIFA E World Cup matches over there as well. More content coming out on that channel and this one in the new year. So keep an eye out for that, and also in the run up to the new year. But yeah, enjoy the holidays, everybody. GG's, Saudi and USA. And was this the last time we get to see them play? Let me know in the comments. See you guys.